Jay Kim from the Oregon Surf Perch Fishing Club. It's Thursday, May 25th at 7:25 a.m. I'm back at Wade Creek, and fishing conditions are actually pretty good today. Swell energy is about 245. Swell height's about 4 feet, 3 to 4 feet. And it's like 50 degrees. There's no breeze. The sun's just breaking over the hill, so it's getting a little warm now. So that's nice. I'm looking at the south, and I'm starting to see sand move and rocks get covered up now. But I'm going to try going to the south because I've been getting skunked at the north quite a bit. So I'm just going to work my way from the creek all the way down. Catch conditions actually look pretty okay. The best waves are way out there, but there are some closer crashing waves here. So I'm just going to work my way down to the south and see how it goes. I know there's a lot of rocks here, so I'm worried about getting snags, but we'll see how it goes. New fishing member, Steve Landon, I met in the parking lot last week, and he told me he caught some fish on the south. So that's where I'm going. And we'll see how it goes. Man, what a beautiful day. Awesome. I'm only here for like an hour. I gotta go shopping again. Mentioned it or not, but it's like 3 hours and 20 minutes before low tide. And low tide is a 0 low tide today. It's about 2.5 feet right now. So it's not dropping super fast like it normally is, but tide is outgoing right now. So the wading here is very uneven and you lose your balance a lot. Two things. First of all, there's a lot of potholes, and they're dropping about 6 to 10 inches. And the other thing is that the sand's super loose, so it must be moving around and just got deposited because it's shifting quite a bit. So just have to be careful wading some certain days. So the south's definitely changing because I haven't felt any rocks on every cast yet. And last couple of times I came out in the south, as soon as I started throwing, I started feeling rocks. So definitely sand's moving around on the south, and that's the way it's been every year. No bites yet. Been fishing about 25 minutes now. I'm guessing I got in about 5 casts. I'm gonna head north, mainly because I'm spending most of my focus on trying to keep my balance because of the soft sand and the potholes. And then the third thing that happens is that if you step in certain places, it's like quicksand and you're up to your ankle and loose sand, and then trying to pull it out when you lose your balance. I almost went down a couple times because of that reason. So I'm gonna go head north. And it might not be any better up there, but having to watch my balance all the time is definitely not fun. So I'm just gonna walk up to the north, try for a little bit, and see what happens. Okay, so I'm just north of the creek, and I can tell you the footing here is so much better. It's even, it's firm, and there's not a lot of potholes, but I know as tide goes down, there will be potholes, but the ground is so much more firm that it's very easy to keep my balance here. So I'm glad I moved up. The south fishing condition, catching conditions actually look pretty good. It's a little shallow here, but the problem with the south was because I was afraid of going down because of the wading there. I was standing pretty far up the beach, so I couldn't quite get out to the waves I wanted to when I was on the south. But like I said, the wading was made me work a lot more, and it wrenched my back a couple times, so it wasn't worth it. Anyway, we'll see what happens on the north. This is like my third cast on the north. If you've been watching my other videos, I've been going to a sandbar that has great catch conditions, but I have had zero action there, so I'm back there because I don't see any other wave action around. But my expectations are very low here, given the past 5 or 6 trips I've been here and seen optimal wave crashing and wave action. I still haven't been able to get any bites up here. An occasional bite, but that's about it. So probably just give it a few more casts and call it a day. So just looking at the waves and trying to understand why I'm not getting any action when the waves look great. The one thing I do notice is that I don't see a lot of sand being churned up by the waves. So typically you'll see waves that are brownish in color somewhere along the line, which means that it's churning up the sand and then it loosens the food for the fish. But I don't see any of, like I said, I don't see any brown waves as the sand being churned up. I mean, very little compared to what I've seen, you know, like on the south. But maybe that's why the sandbar doesn't produce. If the sand's all compacted and the waves can't churn up the sand, then it doesn't loosen up the food for the fish. But, you know, again, I'm just guessing. But I just look at the catch conditions here and I can't believe I don't get a bite. So that's the only explanation I got. Okay, so been here an hour now. Got in about 10 or 11 casts. Got 5 on the south. I would say I didn't give the south a very good shot today because of how bad the footing was. And I almost went down 2 or 3 times. Not from force of waves, but just from stumbling into potholes, having the pothole sides collapse, and then getting also stepping into some quicksand holes, you know, where it would suck my foot down and I couldn't pull it out. So definitely made fishing not fun down there. So that's why I came to the north and went to the sandbar, and knowing that I've been skunked there the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 trips on the sandbar, even though conditions look great. I put in like 3 or 4 casts and calling it a day. I'm also overheating and I don't feel like stopping just to take off one layer and then keep fishing. So I'm just gonna call it a day. Again, 10, 11 casts, 5 on the south, 5 or 6 on the north. No bites at all in an hour. Man, what a beautiful way to start the morning, man. It is so nice. And it's starting to get warm, like I said, because I'm overheating now. So, man, it's so nice to be living on the Oregon coast. All right, time to go shop. I'll be back. Get skunked again.